No one at Blackwood Estate spoke above a whisper anymore. Not since the triplets started dying. The mansion, once loud with laughter, piano music, and the soft chaos of children, now felt like a hospital where hope was rationed and silence ruled. Medical machines hummed day and night inside 3 adjacent rooms on the second floor. Doctors came and went. Specialists flew in from Europe and Asia. Millions were spent. Nothing worked, and billionaire Elliot Blackwood, one of the most powerful men in America, was powerless. His children, Lucas, Noah, and Lily, all 7 years old, were born minutes apart, identical in laughter, identical in stubbornness, and now, identical in suffering. Their organs were slowly shutting down. That no disease had a name. No cure had a promise. Every morning, Elliot stood outside their rooms with his hand pressed against the glass, watching his fortune fail to save them. The maid no one noticed her name was Maria Collins. She arrived quietly on a rainy Tuesday, hired by the head housekeeper because the previous maid had quit, unable to handle the grief in the house. Maria was in her late 30s, with tired eyes and hands rough from work. No makeup, no jewelry, no questions. She cleaned the floors, changed the sheets, and spoke to no one unless spoken to. Most of the staff ignored her, but Maria did not ignore the children. Every time she passed the triplets' rooms, she stopped. She listened. Not to the machines, their breathing, the rhythm, the spaces between each breath where pain lived. And on her third night, as she wiped the hallway windows, she heard something no doctor had noticed. The triplets were breathing, out of sync. That a past buried deep. Maria had not always been a maid. 20 years earlier, she had been a pediatric emergency nurse in a small rural hospital. She had trained under an unconventional doctor who believed that medicine failed when it ignored instinct. But after a tragic fire that took her own daughter's life, Maria walked away from hospitals forever. She never told anyone, not even Elliot Blackwood. The night everything changed at 2:17 a.m., alarms exploded through the mansion. That Lily's heart rate plummeted. Doctors were called. Elliot ran barefoot down the hall. The house filled with chaos. And Maria did the unthinkable. She pushed past the medical team. "I need 10 minutes," she said. Security moved to grab her. Elliot shouted, "Get her out." But then Maria did something no one expected. She dropped to her knees and began to disconnect the machines. Gasps filled the room. "Are you crazy?" a doctor screamed. Maria looked straight at Elliot. Fearless. "They're dying because they're being treated as 3 separate patients," she said. "They're not. Their bodies are still functioning as one system." The room froze. "You stop me," she said quietly, "and they die tonight." Elliot's hands shook. Every instinct screamed at him to stop her, but something in her voice, something broken, certain, and desperate, cut through the fear. That he raised his hand. "Let her continue." Maria placed the triplets' beds in a triangle formation. She synchronized their oxygen flow manually. She adjusted medication timing so their hearts aligned in rhythm. Then she did the most dangerous thing of all. She stopped the sedatives. The children cried. Their heart rates spiked. Doctors shouted. And then, the monitors steadied. For the first time in months, all 3 heartbeats aligned. At the miracle no one could explain. By morning, the triplets were stable. By the next day, they were improving. Within a week, organ function began returning. Doctors called it impossible. Medical journals requested access. Elliot Blackwood knelt in the hospital chapel and wept like a man with nothing left to lose. The truth comes out when investigators questioned Maria. They uncovered her past. She expected to be fired. Instead, Elliot invited her to his office. "I don't know how to thank you," he said. Maria shook her head. "You already paid me," she replied. "I got to save children again." Elliot created a medical foundation in her name. He offered her millions. She refused. She stayed on as the children's caregiver. Because some people aren't meant to be rich, they're meant to be necessary. Years later, on the triplets' 18th birthday, they stood on a stage beside a woman in a simple dress. Lucas spoke into the microphone. "When we were dying, one person saw us as more than patients." Noah smiled. "She saw us as one heartbeat." Lily held Maria's hand, and she chose to risk everything. The audience rose in applause. Maria did not bow. She simply smiled. Because love, when brave enough, can stop death.